Sarah, thank you for organizing this amazing monthly webinar. You do such a beautiful job of that, and we're grateful to the entire RISE team and all the ways they support the work that we are doing as volunteers and members. So welcome to Together Women's RISE August webinar. I love the password was August. It made it really easy to get in instead of a long number that I might not have been able to translate quickly. Tonight, we're going to explore how holistic, community-rooted approaches are helping Indigenous girls stay in school and thrive in Guatemala. I'm Cheryl Holland. I am currently the chair of the board of Together We Rise, and I'm particularly delighted to be together this evening and be with the members rather than just thinking lofty thoughts with the board, because this is what we do. This is who we are. I'm going to be your moderator this evening, and whether this is your first RISE event or you're a returning member, I'm just thank you for joining us this evening and being a part of the community. We're thrilled to be together, and that's what makes us so powerful. We are a community of women, and we are dedicated to achieving global gender equality. And I think that could have been something just that we say, but right now I think we're all feeling in our hearts how important and powerful that is. For the women we know in our own communities, but particularly for women who are losing all kinds of resources, not just from the United States, but other resources too. So RISE's role in the world and for global gender equality has never been more important than it is right now. One thing that's so special about us is what we're doing tonight, right? We learn about and we advocate for gender equality issues. We just don't give our money. We also learn together, and we learn with our women that we're partnering with around the world. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And finally, I just want to know, I think y'all know our model is based on collective giving. It's something that women do so well together. We know that when we give together, we think together, we collaborate, we're so much more powerful. And so our contributions are so valued to our grantees. We're going to learn all about the difference we're making tonight. And by making a donation as a member, you can support our mission as well as our grantees. So you can always go to the togetherwomenrise.org website and make a donation. If you're not already giving monthly, we encourage you to sign up to do that. We want to grow from being a 2 million grantee organization to a $5 million grantee organization. And we want to do that in the next 5 years. So we have much work to do so that we can have an even bigger impact in the world. We're going to get started, and so I just want a few reminders. I don't think anyone probably needs it, but do keep yourself on mute, and I'm going to remind myself when the speakers are presenting. We're going to have a Q&A after the speaker, so we'd love to have your questions. Vilma and I will talk a bit, but we really want to know what you're curious about her organization and what we're doing in Guatemala. So if you'll enter your questions in chat, we will do our best to get to everybody before we close out. And the closed caption feature has been enabled, so if you don't see it automatically and you want it, and I find that helpful whenever I watch television at my age, just go to your Zoom toolbar and click on Show Captions, and you can select your language of choice. One thing you're going to learn about our guest tonight is she's trilingual. And so my choice is only going to be English, but I think that Vilma's choice would be one of three and probably more than that. If anybody wants to have an informal discussion after we're done with tonight's issue, just remain on the Zoom. We've learned it's become fun to stay after the formal program and just kind of hang out together and get to know each other. So you're welcome to do that if you're in a time zone or have time to do that. So I want to turn over to the program tonight. At the monthly webinars, as some of you may know who come regularly, but if you don't, we have an opportunity to learn firsthand the challenges and issues that women and girls in low-income communities in the Global South are facing, as well as the work that we're doing and the exact impact that our grants are having for this specific grantee. Tonight we're featuring MAIA. I learned that Vilma they were very wise when they chose that name because it translates easily in English, Spanish, and the native language. And Vilma, you're going to have to tell me that when we get to it, but I'll be able to pronounce it by the end of it. So it's very exciting that it translates so easily for us and for the women and girls that we're supporting. We have supported them many times, but this time they're featured because of their transformative work. They've been a very long-standing partner with us, and since 2012, we have awarded MAIA $157,000 in grants. I want to pause on that because our grant process is so rigorous, is so broad in the number of people apply. To be a return grantee and be awarded speaks volumes about the quality and impact of this program. So I'm very excited to hear more about this. With each of our investments we're going to hear tonight, we've seen these Indigenous girls rise as leaders, scholars, oh my goodness, it just makes my chills, and change makers in their families and communities. So Sarah's going to run a short video, and then Vilma and I are going to have a conversation, and then we're going to welcome your questions. So Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you for the video.
Utsiwach, Utsipetiki Wonohel. Hello, my name is Vilma Saloj. I am a Mayan Cachiquel woman from Guatemala, and I am the Executive Director of Strategic Partnerships at MAIA. Where I come from, access to quality education is considered a privilege rather than a basic human right, especially for Indigenous girls and women. In Guatemala, only 2 out of 10 girls graduate from high school. 57% of girls are forced to marry or become mothers before they turn 18. 66% live in poverty. In this context, you can understand why investing in girls' education is vital. At MAIA, we are an organization led by Indigenous women for Indigenous girls. In 2017, we opened the MAIA Impact School with the support of donors who believe in us, like Together Women Rise. The MAIA Impact School is Central America's first school specially designed to unlock the talent of Indigenous girls with an innovative and holistic educational program never seen in this country. We serve nearly 400 girls and their families, reaching nearly 2,000 people. We call our students Girl Pioneers because they are usually the first in their family to continue their education and break generational barriers like poverty and exclusion. Our staff is predominantly Indigenous women from the same rural communities as Girl Pioneers, embodying our philosophy: if she can see it, she can be it. Our team is 79% Indigenous Mayan Cachiquel and 87% female. Our unique educational approach focuses equally on academics and socio-emotional mentorship and family engagement. This provides Girl Pioneers with social and emotional education, leadership development, vocal empowerment training, reproductive health education, on-site medical evaluation and consultation, and daily nutritious meals. We also involve the families. Our mentors do regular home visits and workshops with them. Socio-emotional mentorship and family engagement program is the cornerstone of our success. It's ensure that the education and every girl is a family commitment that together we can support her in graduating from high school and achieving her dreams. Thank you, Together Women Rise, for your generous partnership in supporting MAIA socio-emotional mentorship and family engagement program. Your commitment empower Indigenous girls and their families, creating a lasting impact for generations to come. I believe that the best testament to the impact of our program comes directly from the empowered voices of our students, the Girl Pioneers. I invite you to watch and listen to some of their stories.
I am a girl pioneer, and for me means having an empowered voice and being a young woman free to express her opinion to society, to fight for her rights and the rights of others.
For me, it means being the first in my family to go to university. I'm the first to create pathful opportunities in education for older girls.
Means carrying more responsibility because the future is in my hands and I must do the best for myself and my community.
A girl pioneer is an empowered woman who wants to make changes in her own life but also in her community.
Now that I am studying at MAIA, it's a very important part of my life because I know I can fulfill my dreams.
Now I am an empowered woman and I improve in my English.
I developed and discovered new skills like communication skills in English and Spanish.
I never imagined being here as a teacher, which is one of the biggest changes that I have seen in my life.
My dream for the future are to graduate from high school and be an English teacher because I want to help other girls to learn English. I want to support my family like they support me now.
I continue at university, get a job, and contribute to society.
Thank you, Sarah, for that video, and welcome, Vilma. Um, Vilma is the executive director. You probably guessed that, of our strategic partnership at MAIA. And she is a proud Indigenous woman herself. And Vilma, you are such a gifted public speaker. And I was
Thank
reading in your
you.
bio that one of the things you know do is that you advocate for public speaking. I was watching that in the video, and so I'm sure you're a great mentor in that area. You've been on the global stage so many places, so it doesn't surprise me. The UN, the Obama Foundation, the Zayed Sustainability Prize, you're a Humphrey Fellow, just on, and the INCA Emergent Leadership Program. Just an amazing success story and role model for all the women in your community, I'm sure. So thank you for being with us tonight. Before we dig in, I noticed that you started as a mentor with MAIA in 2010. And I would love for you to tell us a story from your first year as a mentor, something that really resonated with you and bound you to MAIA and keeps you working. Now, something that happened with that first year as a mentor. I would love to hear that.
Oh, Wachi Wanogel, Eji Wanogel. Good afternoon, good evening, for everyone. I am so excited and, of course, a little bit nervous for this event. But thank you for that question and thank you for this opportunity to share this our story. And I say always, I am the ambassador to the voice of women from my community, from Indigenous women in Guatemala. My story, I start in 2011 with MAIA as a mentor, but I met MAIA when, because I want to a scholarship. I want a scholarship with MAIA. But the executive directors told me, Vilma, sorry, because we give a scholarship for adolescents or young women, because at that time I graduate from high school, and that's why MAIA can't support me with a scholarship. But the executive director says, if you want to work, because I like in you like the spark, like the chispa. We says like the chispa because you want to make a difference in this world. And I say, seriously, the job? Okay, I make the entire process and I win. And now
Wow.
after 15, almost 15, 14 years, I am here.
Wow. So you started out just at the beginning, just as it rose all the way to be the leader. That's impressive, Emma. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so I think we're all very curious. we, when we think about going to school, we don't even think about it. We just get our kids school supplies, sign them up, everybody goes to school. But, we know that there are unique challenges that especially Indigenous girls face when it comes to accessing school. And it sounds like staying in school in Guatemala. So help us understand the barriers inside the classroom, outside the classroom that you think are pressing and represent the biggest barriers to success for the girls that are coming to you.
Thank you for that question. And of course, we have hard reality in our community, specifically because in Guatemala, the machismo, it's very deep and discrimination. Young women faced, or we faced, four strikes against us from the moment we born, living in a in poverty, living in a rural village, women and indigenous. That is the four
Mm-hmm.
strikes we
Mm-hmm.
faced. And in the other moment for the family or in our community, when they decide support the young children, the parents' children, they make a big decision between a boy or a girl who has the opportunity to study. And in many times, like the family support a boy first,
Mm-hmm.
then a girl, then a woman. And that is the huge in our community. I think the opportunity and access for high quality education. That is the other barrier we faced in our community because we come from the rural area and the access just is in downtown and the opportunity it's very hard for us. And of course, I say, one our strength is our mother tongue language or
Mm-hmm.
our mother
Yeah,
tongue language.
absolutely.
Yeah, but if we want the access to education, we need to learn in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
That change in our routine, in our brain. It's the one process. That's why the other challenge the girls face in the classrooms, it's the language, the because when we find the girls, they come from 45 different communities in Solola, and that's why they need to create a community, a collaboration between them to support them and to create a strong network between them to grow together. And that's why, in MAIA, when we make our selection process, we find that the quality education it's very low. The girls when they enter in our program, they are in second grade or fourth grade, but they need to start in seventh grade with us. The
Mm.
gap is the 3 or 4 years when we
Yeah.
find the girls, and that they face many challenges in language, in math, in computer skills, and of course in English.
Vilma, wow. So it's a multifaceted challenge for you all um, for them to access quality education and then develop the skills to stay in without feeling defeated or I've got so long to go. So it sounds like, and I love that y'all have a nutrition program because it sounds like if you're coming from poverty, having a great meal when you're in school, we all know that helps with the learning. So it sounds like you're being very innovative in all different ways. So talk a little bit about that. How is your model different than more traditional educational approaches, and what's making it effective, and kind of what made you change how you were delivering education? What brought that about?
Thank you. We say always like MAIA is a unique
Mm-hmm.
in our country, and because we have a holistic program, that's why we have like a strong academic piece, but also the socio-emotional development and family engagement. That is the component make our entire program very different, because we provide like individual support with the girls when they are here in our school. Like they have a mentor. Like the mentors is that is they are part of our team. They are the social workers and psychologist. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
psychologist,
Good.
and
Perfect.
they support the girls in their life plan for their emotional intelligence. And that's why we say we are much more than a school. We are not just a school. Um, we provide for our program, we have two pieces. The one piece is socio-emotional education that
And Vilma,
includes.
pause for just a second. Tell me what you mean by socio-emotional. I saw that in the video, and I think I know what you mean by that, but I would love to hear how you all define that.
Perfect. Thank you. We define that is like the girl have a secure space where she can find her voice,
Mm.
and feel confidence with herself, with who she is, who they
Mm-hmm.
are in
Mm-hmm.
our program. And that's why we have an entire team, like the mentors of social workers and psychologists. And this program has two parts. The first part is socio-emotional education. That means we provide a mentorship every week where they learn about leadership, about emotional intelligence, about a life plan, about their dream, about many topics in that mentorship uh, space.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is individual support, where the girl can talk with their mentor about everything in her life. And the second part is about health and nutrition, because we provide nutrition meals every day with the girls in the school, nutrition education, where we talk about their wellness, their meals, and not just here in the school, but in their home too. Personal hygiene and menstruation, because like the sexual education, it's the big part of this program, because uh, sexual education is taboo in our community, and
Mm-hmm.
specifically with the family. That's why like the importance of the role of mentor for the girls, that is very special, because they we says if she can see it, she can be it, because the
Mm-hmm.
role of the mentor in their life, it's very strong and valuable for the girls, because she can talk in a secure place with her mentor about everything.
I mean, that's amazing. And so, I think, talk a little bit about, I talked in the beginning how we have over supported you with multiple grants. I'm curious, did the program start out just like you're describing it? That was sort of, from the very beginning, did you have all these services and ways of giving the women the voice and an education, or has that evolved over time? And what role has RISE played in that evolution? How have we, or how have we made that possible for your girls?
um for us, like partnership, like Together Women Rise, always we says our mission is possible with people who believe in us, who believe in a local leadership like
Mm.
me. Because MAIA is a unique organization in Guatemala. We have women, Indigenous women, in every level of leadership in our structure. Our leader, our CEO is Indigenous like me, and we says like, if like the girls see how we achieve our dream, the girls to inspire in our story to change their life, to change their family, to change their community. And that's why we says like, with partnership with organization like uh, Together Women Rise, for us it's very valuable, because make possible like the mentors visit their family and create a ripple effect, not just in the girl's life, in the community. Because the one big change I see always in the families is that when the father says, in the beginning, I'm not agree with girls education. I don't believe that my daughters can achieve her dream and transform her life. When we see that the father change his mind about girls education, that's it's a very powerful things,
Absolutely.
make your partnership with us, in the family, in the communities. And I remember I have a great memory for dining for women
Yeah.
in 2000, I think in 2012, 13, 14. I had many meetings. I remember, and like when I talk with my team, said Together Women Rise is they have a revolution too. They have a transformation in their organization. It's like MAIA. MAIA in the beginning, it's a baby. Like then began a little girl, and now we are a mature. We are a women, a powerful women organization, and that's why like it's I have that great memory in my mind about dining for women.
Yeah. So basically, we've grown up together, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that allegory of the baby becoming a girl, and I think that's how we've since that in our own organization. I love that we've done that on the same timeline. That's just amazing to hear that. Um, so you talked about in the video that 300 Girl Pioneers, and it reaches more than 2,000 people across 40 villages, which is just amazing. Um, you talked a little bit about how it changes the dads, but I'm always curious when I travel or donate and learn about our grantees. I know it impacts the girls, but also their communities, economic impact. Talk a little bit about the broader impact. So important that they're leading their own lives for change, but that broader impact is important to us too.
Thank you. Yeah, the first change we saw in our program
Mhm.
is our vocal empowerment program. Because when the girl come and we talk with them, they are shy, they are like they can't look in your eyes, and they don't have confidence in themselves. And when they come in our program with the mentor, with that collective learning, they like you see like the girls feel confident, and she introduce herself in the
Mhm.
group. And because we make body exercise, but not just for the body, is because the girls need to find her voice. And that's why like that is the first change. The second change like is that the parents change their mind, and we change their mind in their family. And because like the mentors make a great job with ecosystem in the
Mhm.
family ecosystem.
Uh-huh.
That is the first ecosystem we change in our community, and the growth to the community and the country. We says
Mm.
like the girl is a role model for other girls in her community because she come all every day in MAIA. All the girls they say, "Oh, she study in MAIA. I want to study in MAIA for change my life, for achieve my dream in my life," and that's why we says now the girl and our graduates too, they are a spark in all the in the
Mm-hmm.
entire country now because their transformation now like the old people in our community watch that transformation in the girl's life.
Yeah. I love that way you talk about it's the girl changes, her family changes, her community changes. So it really is a very organic process as well as a thoughtful, purposeful change that you're trying to go back. That's really powerful. You talked a little bit about we saw the two girls in the video. I think we'd love to hear another story of a girl that illustrates the power of Maya. And one woman, I mean, talk a little. Did someone? Do they go on to university? Do they go on to be in politics? Tell us about what they go on to do once they graduate.
Yeah. For me, it's amazing. Yesterday we had a Tijonem called like a conversation
Mm-hmm.
and between different cohort. And like Linda, like the teachers who talk in the video, she is from the first generation in our school, the first cohort. She graduated in 2021. Now she lead the next generation of the girls in our school. She is an English teacher. She used her skills developed during her time with Maya, 7 years. And now she inspired the next generation. This is her third year in university. She studied English teacher in the university. She has a job, a formal job with us in Maya, and she lead a next generation of the girls in Maya. And we have many stories like that. And Anna, Anna, Anna Yashon is the other mentor. She is the mentor of eighth grade right now, and she lead to the next generation of the girls. And she study as social worker, and this is her third year too. And for me, I have many stories, and always I say, "Oh my God, you are part of you're my coworkers now." But
Mm-hmm.
I saw them grow up when I was a mentor and educator and a principal at the My Impact School, and I say, "Oh my God, it's a very very powerful when you see the first
Absolutely.
generation lead the next generation for the transformation in the
Yeah,
community."
that sounds like that's part of your DNA, is to sort of, you know, become it and then, teach it. It's just amazing. Absolutely. You touched on how the Maya model engages not just the girls and mothers, but the fathers, and maybe other male family members too. You know, why tell us why it's important. You mentioned machismo at the beginning. Like tell us why it's important to involve men and how do you engage the men? I think we all know we have to have allies. We don't want to do this work alone. We can't. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. That is a huge challenge, but it's possible for the mentors or the mentorship program. For me, like we involve the father in girls' education or in their daughters' education in the beginning. I think that is the key of our success in Maya because we involved the entire family through the girls' education. We training, we have like when we select the girl, And when they win for the scholarship, it's not just the girl, it's the entire family. We select the entire family. That's why when the fathers come, we training the fathers and the mothers too, to change their mind and to change their discourse with their daughters too. In the beginning, the fathers, they have many comments like, my daughters need to marry, or and like the girl says always, I want to have 8 babies or 8 children, and we says okay. But when they passed in our entire program, and when they finished, because they make a life plan, they say, no, I want 1 children or 2 children, no more. And that transformation, when they talk with their father and their mother at home, that is so powerful, because the father says, okay, my daughters now want to go to school, to go to university, to get a formal job, and to be a leader. And that transformation, it's very interesting too, but that is possible through our socio-emotional and family engagement program.
Yeah.
The other thing we do is we involve the entire family. That includes grandmother, grandfathers, cousins, and nephews, yes, nephews, in the entire family, because when they change their discourse with the girls, it's easy for the girl to make a difference. It's easy for the girls to achieve her dream in her life. Yeah.
So it sounds very much, Velma, as if the girls do a lot of the changing in their family system. I mean, it
Yes.
sounds like they're the vector for change. That's really quite powerful. And it
Yeah.
speaks to the
And
depths of the communities they're in, that their family would love them and listen and support them. So I find that impressive culturally. You mentioned the winning the scholarship. Tell us how the girls are selected. What is the process for a young woman, a young girl to apply, how they find out about you, how many applicants do you have, how many do you have to turn away? Talk a little bit about the process.
thank you, Cheryl, for that question. Our selection process take 1 year, the entire
Mm,
year.
wow.
And why? Because we promote our scholarship in 45 different schools, with directly in the 6th grade, in the school.
Mm-hmm.
We provide like the requirements. We talk about our program. We have a lot of promotion in social media promotion, and in local TV too. We provide many information about our program, and our selection team, they go to the different communities, 45
Mm-hmm.
communities, and they promote our um, our scholarship. And we want the girls who really want to transform her life. All the girls have the information, and we want to see like their spark, their
Mm-hmm.
cheese, who wants really to change their life. And they come with us in MAIA to with their how do you say, with their requirements, for to apply. Every year we receive nearly 150 applicants, but MAIA only have 50 places for the girls. We have a lot of demand, but our capacity, our organizational capacity is just select 50 girls.
And so they
Yes.
go 6th grade through the 12th grade. that's the
Yes.
years that you're supporting them. That makes a lot of sense. And
Yes.
so, and you said they're from 45 different schools. How do they get to school? Do they live on campus? Do the families responsible to transporting them every day and picking them up?
That is very good question. We says we empower the family, we empower the communities in girls' education, and the family they are the responsible for their transportation. They don't live in our campus because we believe when the girls return in their family the effect for the impact is immediately because they share what they learn every day in the school. They share immediately with their siblings, with their parents, and the change and the impacts we saw very quickly in the community. That's why we don't have a boarding school, and but the family are responsible for their transportation.
The
Yeah.
transportation.
And we say like a collaboration with the family because we are a network or teamwork. No.
Network, yeah, but either.
Yeah, we are a team with the parents,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
for girls' education, and they support their daughters. The girls work very hard, and Maya support for make that possible or make our philosophy possible. Yeah.
So, Vilma, are you thinking? I mean, I'm hearing that you don't have capacity and that you're serving 45 high schools. Are there long-term thoughts for building capacity, serving other regions of Guatemala? Or right now you're focused on of what you do and doing it at the best it can be done?
Oh, that is very interesting question. Thank you for that question. I think the past 3 years we are focused after pandemic time, we are focused just in Maya and our families, our girl pioneers. And but now this February we launched our next new strategic plan for the next 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and that includes how we can make the systemic change in our country.
Mm.
Many times, many people ask us, when you create more Mayas, when you create more Mayas around the country. That is our dream, but our budget it's a little bit expensive because the quality education, the holistic program, it's important, but it's a little bit expensive. And of
Mhm.
course,
Sure.
the indigenous girls, they we need it's our rights to learn in a program like Maya. And but we decide last year with my coworkers, with the inputs of the girls, the girls, families, and the communities, how we create the systemic change. And now our new strategic plan have 4 pillars. And the first pillar is focus on our program, on our Maya
Mm-hmm.
holistic program. The second pillar is focus on our systems to strengthen our institutional culture and our core, to strengthen our core. The third pillar is about we want to elevate the profile of local leadership. And the last pillar, the fourth pillar, is about expand our impact through to share our best practices with organizations, peoples who want to make a difference in our country. And that's why we focus on that through share our best practices with
Ah,
with organizations And we start this year with teachers, with 100 teachers with training during this semester. Here it's in our community, but that is our idea to make a systemic change, and we are part of the many networks to make and to talk with the Ministry of Education, and we want to make a systemic change through that strategies. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're franchising yourself instead of you going out and building out schools. I love that concept. So the power, what a smart strategic plan. And someone did ask about this. So it sounds like you're lobbying the government of Guatemala to adopt some of these best practices and to replicate quality that you all and a socio-emotional and how so is that just begun? Is that a new initiative? And how receptive has the government been at this point in time?
Oh, okay. With this administration, it's a little bit friendly with NGOs in Guatemala, and that's why we want to really dialogue or make a conversation with them. It's slowly. The process is a little bit slowly, but we believe in organization and people's really want to make a difference. Now we are looking for the opportunities and, of course, for the grants who wants to support this systemic change in our country, specifically for teachers or like organizations who want to support socio-emotional development in their organization or with their in their programs. Yeah, we are open with not just academic piece, but with a socio-emotional and family engagement program too. Yeah.
I just realized Sarah's supposed to be reading the questions. Sarah, I've been weeding them in as we're talking, but if you would like to take over reading the questions, I'm just going to close with one. Vilma, two. Vilma, it sounds like just to recap the numbers, you have about 50 students that you select over 6th through 12th grade, about 300 girls. And what's the budget for the entire program, if you don't mind sharing?
Thank you. Yeah, our program is for 7 years. 7 years. We have
Oh, 7 years.
Impulso program. It's reinforced. It's a leveling. I don't know
Mhm.
for the gap learning.
Yes, we
Impulso
call that
program.
remedial, but I like gap learning is a
Yeah,
much better,
yeah, yeah.
much nicer, much more
Thank you.
appropriate word. Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. And we have 3 years for middle school, 7, 8, and 9, and for 2 years for high school, 11 and 10th and 11th grade. And we have one more extra year. It's for the launch program or the
Ah,
post-secondary success program. That's why we have 7 years in the entire program, and our budget it's nearly $3 million
okay,
for the
impressive.
7 years. Yeah,
Congratulations. That's a tough fundraise
thank
every year.
you.
Congratulations to you all. Um,
Our team
d-
work hard.
Sarah, do you want to take over the chats? I'm looking for you on the screen. The questions.
Been doing a wonderful job. We just had one left about whether or not women
Yeah, that's a good
graduate from the
one.
program are finding spouses that have like-minded support for the women that are becoming leaders in their communities and whatnot. And as you're
Yeah.
changing the mindsets of the men, are they finding husbands then that also support them and continue to change patriarchal attitudes?
And Bill, I'm just going to say that's hard in the United States too. So
Yeah.
we're not asking us if we figured this out, but we are curious.
Oh, I can't hear very well
Yeah,
the
what Cher was
question.
asking is, the women find a voice, they are empowered, they're brilliant, they're educated, they have that spark. And, so finding a spouse, a life partner, in a machismo culture, is that a challenge for them or not? So just talk a
A
little bit
very good
about,
question.
yeah, how do you
Uh,
partner up after you've, leveled up?
yes, thank you for that question. Sorry. Yeah, it's very interesting, but we says like when the girls have all the tools for her life, specifically critical thinking, she can decide for herself what she wants to do, and we says always with the all we equipped the girl with all the skills for her life, and she decide. But it is true, like many of the community and the men and specifically just looking us like they always, and because the mentors and educators feel that not barrier but opportunity too, right? Because they decide, okay, maybe I don't want to get married early. I have a life plan. I want to study. I want to explore the world. I think the girls see that too for their life. I don't know. I don't have a specific answer for that question, but always we says we want the girls feel, ¿cómo se dice? Realizada,
Mm.
realized in
Mm-hmm.
her life
Yes.
with her decision, and or make her life plan on her own terms.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's
Mm.
probably the only way to have a happy marriage, right?
Yeah.
You
Happy
have to, you
marriage.
have to, Um, so I have a question, and then we'll see if anybody else wants. That's completely unrelated. But when I was watching the video, what incredibly beautiful clothes everyone had on. So just sort of do the girls, do the families make their own clothes, or I mean, just do they? Does everybody love to do needlework? It was just such beautiful um, collars and dresses. So talk a little bit about indigenous fabrics and clothes.
Thank you. Thank you. I invite you to visit Guatemala, to visit Solola. We have in Guatemala we have 22 different languages in Guatemala. At the same time, different wearing these clothes. We says huipil. This is huipil, and we have a corte. Many women in Guatemala woven that by
Mm-hmm.
hand, and
Oh.
that is very special things for our Mayan culture, because like our clothes talk talk to us, our
Mm-hmm.
culture, who we are, where we come from, and the girls feel very proud when they wearing this every day, because we says it's our story to
Mm-hmm.
embrace
Embrace.
ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
embrace ourselves every day, and that's why we have don't have a uniform for daily, because we want they preserve their identity and their their identity, and yes, and
So that's
it's
fascinating.
welcome to
So
Guatemala.
yeah, it's a specific choice because it's so important to how they see themselves and who they are and their families and their village. That's really interesting because uniforms are something in some schools, right? So it's wonderful that y'all made that choice. I want to
Mm,
read something out loud to you from our vice chair, Vicki Bush Joseph. She says, "What a pleasure to hear directly from Vilma about the progress being made in Guatemala through Maya. We are proud to support you and the girls there." And she says, gracias,
Matios.
gracias.
Mateos, gracias. Thank you for that special words, and thank you for joining us this evening. And for me, it's very special. And I think Together Women Rise and Maya, we are a sister
Mhm.
organization, because we grow up together. And like always, I think in the power of a women organization, and of course men too, who support a women organization. It's very powerful. Thank you for joining us.
Lily, you were a delightful guest, and I think we all feel informed and engaged and impressed with what your organization and you personally are doing. So thank you for that. I'm going to take just a moment, if you don't mind, to talk a little bit about upcoming events. I want to say, first of all, all of our donations are what makes this happen. Our learning and our advocacy is so critical, but writing a check, that monthly donation really is what allows us to give grants and help Vilma do what she's doing with her girls and young women in Guatemala. So if you can, there's a donate button. I'm thinking on the Sarah on the web if you go to the website, you can push donate, make a donation. We love that. On August 20th, which is a Tuesday, we are hosting a very special virtual screening of Between the Mountain and the Sky, which is a documentary about Maggie Doyne, the founder of our grantee partner, Blink Now Foundation. Screening starts at 6:30 p.m., and then we'll include, believe it or not, a live Q&A with Maggie and the film director. And 50% of the proceeds will go to Together When Rise. So I know our monthly webinar attendees may well want to join that. And I'm certainly going to be there and excited to be a part of that screening. Finally, our next monthly webinar is Thursday, September 4th, and our next book club event is Thursday, September 11th, and the events page can give you more details about that. We had some availability on the Uganda trip in June. And then finally, this is not on my written notes, but I want to take a moment to do two things. One, we are going to have two special events coming up. One is we're going to have International Day of the Girl in DC. We are hosting an event. If you live in that region, we're going to have family in that region, include them, invite them. We're going to be celebrating one of our former board members who's just been a legacy of an amazing impact donor to Rise, amazing leader to Rise. We're going to have a girls' choir, so it's going to be a great celebration. So we got the invitation to that. Please join us or have a friend join us. And then I think, as you know, too, we're going to have Nicholas Kristof do a webinar with us on his book, Chasing Hope. So we have so much going on in the learning area, the collaboration area. I just want to make you aware of those things. And then finally, I think everyone knows what's going on with USAID. What you may not know is that UNESCO and other organizations are also cutting their grants to Global South, particularly for women and girls programs are being impacted. So we're going to be doing a special appeal this fall. Not everybody will want to participate or be able to, but I just want to make you aware that we're thinking very deeply how we can try and close the gap that's being created by the withdrawal of the U.S. government and other institutions that have such a critical impact on women like Vilma and the girls that she's supporting. So I just want to highlight all those things before we close. I want to say thank you, first of all, to each of you that came tonight, for being members of RISE, for being part of our community, learning together. I just really appreciate that personally. I think we're going to end now, Sarah. Is that right? But if you want to stay and party, I've got a glass of wine here somewhere. You're welcome to stay, and we'll just have an informal conversation and see what's happening in our day-to-day lives, or answer questions about RISE, or whatever the heck we want to do.